This is a question. This question is only for Africans. This question is only for Africans. When did you guys realize or found out that Jamaica was not in Africa? When did you guys realize or found out that Jamaica was not in Africa?
Jamaica not being in Africa doesn't make sense to me. It's like 77 plus 33.
This is spiritual. The love Africans have for Jamaicans.
Growing up, I used to think that Jamaica was part of Africa. I'm a Nigerian myself, and I don't know why. I always just thought that Jamaica was somewhere in Africa. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tim Tesi. For the first time, if you come across my video, remember to subscribe, like, and also comment. To my returning viewers, thank you so much for your love. Thank you much for your support, for always coming back and watch my video. Greetings to my people all the way from Jamaica. I love you so much, guys. So guys, in today's video is a very amazing video. It's all about Africa and Jamaica. We all know that the Jamaicans are the descendant of enslaved from Africa, and really Africa love Jamaica many times. We have also seen how Jamaica really also love back to Africa. So in today's video is a combination of video. People, they have come out and really said the reason why Africa really love Jamaica so much. So kindly guys, let's watch this video until the end, and then I'll come back with more reaction.
I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what nobody says. Jamaica is one of the most influential black countries on this planet Earth. On this planet Earth, hands down, Jamaicans is one of the most influential people on this planet that will stand against anything. I don't care. Back in the day, everyone had to claim to be Jamaican to be accepted. I don't care. Nowadays, everyone's being accepted. Everybody's music is being accepted. Everything's being accepted. But we were standing out when none of us was really accepting. When they weren't even accepting black music, when they weren't even accepting them spaces, we were still standing out there and telling people exactly who we were and what we represent. And that is the reason why we stand as one of the most influential countries on this planet. And I don't care what nobody says, because we're a country of 3 million people. We're a country of 3 million people, and we influence from our lands all the way that way and all the way that way. Okay? So I just want to shout out. I just want to shout out to all my Jamaicans. And I just wanted to shout out to all the people that love Jamaica, because we're one influential motherfucking country, and nobody can tell me differently. And I respect my country highly, and I will always talk about my country highly, because we're one of the top. And I don't care, the haters can come, but we are one of the most influential countries. And the reason why corporations and brands and everybody will continuously to watch what we're doing year on year on year, because we set records. Period. Done. Bro, this is so fucking true. Ain't nobody love reggae music like South African uncles and aunties and the grandparents. They love that shit, bruv. I remember my second trip there. I went to Johannesburg and we rented this whole house. And it was about around 2 and something like that in the afternoon. And I went out on the balcony, and the neighbors next to me, bruv, all I heard was, easy skanking it easy. Oh, pirates, yes, they rob by Buffalo Soldier. And I was like, wait, hold on, wait, what? And the mix, I was listening to the mix. It went on and on and on and on. So I was like, Jamaicans. We have some Jamaicans next to us. So we was going to go out, innit? So I was like, oh, yeah, like, you mans. I was telling everybody. I was like, when we're going past, let's tell, like, the neighbors hi in Jamaica. Bruv. We got out of this house, went up to their house, got to the gate. We saw it. It was 2, like, older couple. Like, they looked like they were in, like, their 40s, 50s, 60s. So went up to them. I agreed to them in patois, bruv. I was like, wow, go on, uncle. Like, I was chatting patois. Please tell me why. This man replied back to me in a South African accent. I said, hello, hi, excuse me. He's like, yes, I'm South African. It was 2 full South African uncle and aunties, bruv. And they were in the front garden dancing the fuck like ain't nobody's business. And then, the funny thing is, like, you will go into, like, certain areas and you'll just hear them be beating reggae, bruv. It's not a joke. I think Bob Marley performed in South Africa one time, bruv. I can't remember. But, bruv,
They love that shit. I don't think Jamaican people appreciate reggae music the way they do. They love that shit.
I'm so tired of this narrative. It is simply not true. And I don't know where it started. I don't know who is trying to create this propaganda that Africans don't accept us in the diaspora. It is not true. A great majority of them love us and embrace us and want us to come over there and connect with them. Sure, you have a few that may be saying, oh, you know, don't come over here. But I mean, it's one and two, and most of them are just not in their right minds. Just like you have piece of shit Jamaicans, but I'm not going around and saying, oh, Jamaica is hell because you have a few people who aren't very nice. Check the comment section of the last video that I posted. It is full of comments from the continent, all over the continent. Even on Instagram, I have 50k followers on Instagram. About 90% of them are Africans. Africans love us, especially Jamaicans. Okay, maybe they don't like Black Americans so much, right? You can understand, you know, I love my Black American brothers and sisters, but y'all are hard to deal with sometimes, especially when you come to other places where other African people are. You know, you come with your entitlement, you come with your attitude, you come with your complaining. Like, it's very difficult to deal with y'all because you're American, you know, and that's just the truth. But we love in the same way, you know, but it's just hard to deal with. But Africans love Jamaicans. They love Jamaicans. Ghana, they act just like us. They actually act like us. That's how much they love us. Come on. And the rest of Ethiopia.
Growing up, I used to think that Jamaica was part of Africa. I'm a Nigerian myself, and I don't know why. I always just thought that Jamaica was somewhere in Africa. I don't know why. I don't know why.
South Africans are okay with things not making sense. For example, Jamaica's not in Africa, Haiti's not in Africa, Brazil's not in Africa, but I've come across some South Africans that in theory know this, but in reality, like, they don't compute it or process it, right? For example, I'll tell people about my Jamaican friends. I'll be like, oh my gosh, like, Jamaicans have housed me and made me feel more welcome and helped my transition a lot more than, you know, some African people. And they'll be like, why are you separating Jamaicans from Africans? Is Jamaica not in Africa? I'm like, bro, we were in the same geography class. You know that Jamaica is not in Africa. And then people would have to dig in their knowledge and be like, oh my gosh, in theory, yes, I do know that it's not in Africa. But the way that Jamaican culture, Haitian culture, even some people think that Brazil, not as often Brazil comes up, but some people do think that Brazil is in Africa. Like, they would know it in theory that it's not in Africa, but then practically and realistically, like, their brains just see these cultures, the spirituality within these cultures, the expression, the color, the ceremoniousness, the way that Africans feel loved when they're in these countries, and they'll be like, yeah, this must be an African person, even though the theory we learned in class is cognitively dissonant to that, or it is incongruent to the information that their brain feeds them. And I find that so fascinating. And I think then when you approach the African continent or South Africa, knowing that things make sense not making sense, knowing that people can maneuver the countries in the world in their heads to make sense of identity in the world, I think it lets you approach South African ignorance differently and South African history and political context differently, because there is a context as to why people think that Jamaica is in Africa. And it's not everyone, it's some people, it's probably a minority before people come at me. But yeah, I hope I'm making sense.
Why am I just finding this out? Why? And I was seriously ready to argue with my friends. My friend was telling me and I was like, bro, you're lying. I was laughing at her. Why? Anytime I tell people, oh, I'm from Nigeria, they're like, oh, I have a friend from Jamaica. It's not even in Africa. Why didn't I know that? Why didn't you go tell me that?
Jamaica not being in Africa doesn't make sense to me. It's like 77 plus 33.
This is spiritual, the love Africans have for Jamaicans, it's really, really spiritual, people. I know a lot of you are going to think that's crazy, but that is true. It's like you cannot convince an African at some point in their lives that Jamaica is not an African country. They will literally pull out pictures of Jamaicans and they'll say, yeah, and they are African. Then you'll say to them, okay, point where they are in Africa, and then they'll be all blank and they'll be traumatized when they discover that Jamaica is actually an island in the Caribbean. I was traumatized when I discovered that, so I'm talking from experience. So then my ancestors say to me, it's spiritual. The connection between Jamaicans and Africans is spiritual. That connection that broke between African Americans and Africans because of slavery did not break with Jamaicans. It remained like the cord, the umbilical cord between the Africans and the African Americans. It broke during slavery, but it did not break with the Jamaicans. It remained strong. They remained tagged into the source. So what was the reason? What is the reason that they were tagged into the source and remained tagged into the source? The women, they had very strong metaphysical scientists who were women, and they were like leading them. It's almost like one of their leaders, one of their very first leaders who did what she did. I think I remember her name. Whoever she was very, very metaphysically strong. She did rituals along with others which kept the cord, the umbilical cord, intact, because she thought one day they were going to be able to get on boats and go home, and she didn't want to lose that connection. Literally, yeah, I'm listening to them talking. Literally, that's why for Africans, Jamaica is in Africa no matter what. It's a spiritual connection that has remained over hundreds of years and will remain for eternity. Isn't that fascinating? I think that's amazing. I think that's cool. And yes, I still think it's a travesty that Jamaica is not in Africa.
Hello guys, welcome back. Hope you have watched a full clip how really people really love Jamaica. I told you that Jamaica is the most loved country across all over the world, and I declared Jamaica to be the capital of the world. And Jamaica being the capital of the world, I don't know, Jamaicans, you must now come out and tell us the truth, because Jamaica is not a country, it's now a spirit, because it has managed to influence so many people without using a bullet, without terrorizing any country, and that is how Jamaica come out and take over the world. And even just if you mention just the name Caribbean, most of people started calling Caribbean is a Jamaica, and that is how really God created Jamaica. And Jamaica are the real Israelites. They are the most loved country across all over the world. So most of the Africans really love Jamaica. Not most, Africans really love Jamaica so much, and also Jamaica love Africa so much. And it is surprising that most of the African people believe that Jamaica is in Africa, and when they realized that Jamaica is not in Africa, most of them were filled with a shock. They didn't believe that Jamaica is not in Africa. And this relationship started long time ago, because Jamaicans are brothers and sisters here in Africa. They were taken here from Africa through slavery. So they are the descendant of Africa. And they were taken in West Africa, like the Ghana and Nigeria. So when you just started comparing these two countries, you will find that Jamaica and even the culture of Jamaica and Ghana looks like the same. And that's how really Africa love Jamaica so much. So in terms of reggae music has dominated across all over the world, and really people love reggae music, especially here in Africa. Here in Africa, people love reggae music. They love their rhythms. They love their dancehall. They really love the reggae music. And even people, they have just started calling their names in Jamaica, and have Bob Marley Jr., we have the Vibes Cartel Kenya. Those are people really love the Jamaicans so much. And another thing is that about the Rastafaris. So you said that Rastafari, the Emperor Haile Selassie, was the inventor of the Rastafari, the Rastafari religion. So this religion came widespread from here in Africa, and Jamaica started that movement and really empowered and overpowered across all. A lot of Rastas here in Africa are copying from Jamaica, because Jamaica being the center of the world, you must start copying the how the capital of the world look like, and also this culture, this food. We have also seen this salt fish being cooked here in Africa. Africa is also practicing to cook the salt food. This salt food is the origin of the Jamaica, and people just love that food and they enjoy that delicious food, and that's how the people come out and really love the Jamaica in so many times. When we come in terms of the athletics, we really love you guys. We love your athletics. You gave us the Usain Bolt, who's the fastest man in the world, which is really raised the flag of Jamaica very high. Here in Africa, they really love the Usain Bolt. They really love the Bob Marley, because Bob Marley really helped Africa during the he sang these songs of the revelation. These songs were sung by the Bob Marley. And another person that influenced in Africa is the Gavi Marcus. Gavi Marcus was really inspired in how he even influenced the Kwame Nkrumah during the liberation. You find that Jamaica was the first to get its colonized in 1962 compared to this African country like Kenya and other countries they caught later. But Jamaica, that guy Gavi was really inspired the Africa. So we are in Africa. We also love Jamaica back. We love really Jamaica so much. And when you come here in Africa, you will just find people just wearing the Jamaican attire, because that Jamaican dressing code is really impressive. And that's when you'll find people wearing the Jamaican attires, that's dressing code, they go to clubs singing the Jamaican songs, and that is how they come out and really fall in love in Jamaica. And Jamaica is the baby of Africa who is living abroad. Is a child of Africa who is living abroad, because they are the brothers and sisters who are just taken here in Africa. And the person that is really differentiates we as the Jamaican Africa is the white people. And that's how, as I conclude, Jamaica and Africa are the brothers and sisters, and we must continue really embracing our culture. We must love each other. We must support each other. And then I'm also that when Jamaica shines, I feel that I'm part of it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Team Tessie. Remember to subscribe in this YouTube channel, like, share, and also comment. Bye for now. See you next.